Welcome back to Movie Club, everybody. I'm Ian Elliott-Carter.
Jeremy Branch.
Alex Hampton.
And this week, Alex forced us to watch some softcore porn on Tubi, and the movie was called A New Life, which, crazy enough, I Googled A New Life. There's like 5 movies with that name. Interesting, isn't it?
Doesn't surprise me.
Pretty simple name, right? I would like to, at this moment, Alex, new rule. We want to, whoever suggested the movie, you give the synopsis, and then we will go from there. So, Alex, give us the synopsis of A New Life on Tubi.
So, A New Life is a movie about a man who was once married to a beautiful woman and lost that woman maybe about a week or so after she gave birth to her daughter. Lost her life during I believe a bank robbery, and the husband now has to raise this daughter alone and figure out in a nutshell, have a brand new life and figuring out his way of dating and going through the process of it. And in a way, I was telling Ian off camera that I was actually kind of could relate to the whole living a new life after transitioning from one stage to the other. And basically you see this man go through a lot of trials and tribulations. You know, you see him go up at certain places. You see him having one night stands and God forbid other stuff. Yes. Miss Brenda, played by the lovely Kendra Mack. Shout out to Kendra. And but that is just the gist of the synopsis. Is he has to live with the fact that he has to live a new life while he's missing his wife, because he did lose his wife tragically. And that is one of the things that kind of burdens him into making certain decisions as he's going throughout this movie.
Right on, man. Right on. And you know, interesting enough, whenever you suggested this movie, I think as I'm watching this movie, I could see not everything similar with your life, just a little bit of what I know from you about moving on. Your ex-wife didn't pass away or anything, but it's just like moving on with somebody with a daughter and just like going back in the dating scene. You know, was there similarities to your life with that?
Most definitely. Like, just to give you guys a synopsis of why I relate to this movie is because when I did get divorced, it was very weird for me. Because like I didn't know what dating was like literally in 2020, and I'm like it was crazy. And then also I had my daughter with me as well, and then also like finding someone who's willing to be with you while you have a child, especially like my child who has autism, like that's not an easy feat. So when I was watching this movie, I could understand why he was apprehensive about certain things. I also could understand why he was eager to sleep with a bad bitch too. But at the end of the day, I relate to it in a sense of like when you have to start all over again. It's easier said than done. In my case, I did not miss my ex-wife at all. So that's I mean, I can care less what that person is doing, even as we speak right now. But for him, he genuinely loved his wife, and to the fact that he lost her after like maybe a few days after she gave birth to their first child, and then have to live a life after that. That's almost insane. So I really connected for that part. And I also there's certain things that we'll get into that I was like, okay, I can see myself in this area, especially where he's talking to the teacher, because I didn't realize it until I started living my new life that there's some teachers who are my age who are bad. They're really bad, and I'm like,
I know. Where were all these teachers that were having sex with kids when we were there, Jeremy? You know, they were all old, trucker ladies. And then whenever we graduate, these bad, OnlyFans models come. Like, what? Oh, man. You graduated too early.
I'll make sure to drop by every one of those videos on Law and Crime to leave a like. Just throwing that out there.
Well, it's interesting enough. Like, I liked what you said there too, brother. There was something I was about to say. Yeah, the big difference is obviously like his loss compared to like a tragic thing in your personal life. But like, I would never. I don't want to envy losing somebody like death wise, and then having to live life with a daughter and just like seeing them all the time, like seeing them and other people and cross and walking and crossing and stuff like that. And to the point you're calling these people her name and stuff like that. That's I don't wish that on nobody. It seems like it's a very haunting feeling. Jeremy, one thing I wanted to say to you, man, I don't envy Alex at all and this guy in the movie because like I love my wife. I know you love your wife. I don't think I could go back to the dating scene, bro. I think like, it's a new age. It seems like it's too much work. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like, just on like going back in the dating scene, being comfortable where you are and, comparing it to this movie.
Yeah, it's really interesting, man. I'm 42 years old, so when Victoria and I started dating, it was like literally the dawn of Facebook. I did pretty good in my hometown when I was a kid, when there weren't a lot of options available to women. These days, I really don't know, man. It is a very, like you said, daunting. Like I can't even begin to imagine how challenging it is. In a really simple kind of analogy, it's like you used to be able to choose between like, the people that you would meet at the bars, the people that you would meet at a club, the people that you would meet at work, whatever small pool that you were socially involved with. Now you have infinite options. And I don't know if you've ever tried to pick out a movie on streaming and just eventually just give up because there's too many choices. I kind of feel like dating is like that for people. It gets exhaustive, and it's like when there's infinite options, how do you settle? How do you kind of stick with one person? So yeah, to that point, I can't even imagine how much of a challenge going through what this character went through in the movie. I don't know the actor's name, but I'm referring to him as Sterling J. Brown. He's not Sterling K. Brown, but he's very similar type. So we're calling him Sterling J. Brown.
The Wish version of Sterling K. Brown.
And I don't want to get into this like, I can't tell the difference in black people kind of situation. The dude really does look like Sterling K. Brown. I'm not making this up.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, yo, I see it. I didn't think about it until you said it. And I know his name, and I know his first name is Chris, but I'm actually Chris Rouse is his name.
He kind of leveled up between the dead wife and the new girlfriend, but we don't have to get too hung up on that. There's a lot of movie in this hour and 50-minute movie. It spans like 7 years, and yes. So like a lot of stuff happens. It's not like a slice of life, like a day in the life. It's like a decade-spanning thing of this guy being with the woman that he loves. The beginning of it, him having a child with her, that's like the first act. At the very end of the first act, she passes away. Second act is him going out like onto the dating scene, trying to adjust to this new life. It doesn't even introduce who I would call the love interest in this movie until like an hour into the movie. Which is interesting. Structurally, I was kind of interested in the way that it was put together. I do feel like it's challenging to capture a whole lot of emotion over that much of a scale, but like there's a good balance of like sentimental kind of like Hallmark Channel stuff within like some kind of good comedy sprinkled in it. I like a lot of his friends and a lot of the kind of side characters, like what's her name? Gia. Gia was a trip, man. And when Ronald calls her Gary, that actually legitimately killed me. But like there's like on a cinematography side of things, everything was really saturated, which I think is kind of typical of dramas like this kind. But then there's also that like almost like the Vaseline smear haze over everything, where it almost like a lot of the movie kind of looks like a dream sequence, and I felt like that was doing too much. So I don't know if it was just a matter of like correcting the footage that they had in certain circumstances, but there's like this hazy blur over everything. Brenda was a freak. She was a very funny character. She's also left-handed, which I always notice when people are left-handed, because I'm left-handed. There's not a lot of that. And then also I thought it was funny that Leon was always calling Ronald Runt when he's like a foot shorter than him. That was a kind of funny little detail. That the dance scene was really funny when Leon was dancing with Brenda. That was there's like the twerking. It just like cuts to when they're twerking on the dance floor. That was a kind of funny little cutaway shot. The "Tell Me You Love Me" scene was crazy. Like, that's when I realized that this love interest might be borderline personality disorder, because she like melts down, bro. And like, if you know what this guy's going through, like maybe give her space to like figure it out. She goes all sorts of crazy. But yeah, Gia, that was so funny. And the woman who plays Leon's love interest, I guess I don't have her name written down. She is just stunning. Absolutely beautiful. In the meantime, when Stephanie's mom, the ex-mother-in-law, is in the house and Adonis comes out of the bedroom, Adonis with two eyes, and he's kind of like, what's going on? That was very funny too. There's a couple just kind of funny parts in it. And then at the end, when she smashes Leon over the head with the glass bottle, it doesn't break twice. And I'm like, is that sugar glass? Because it was just like clunk, clunk, and then it finally shatters on the third hit, and I was like, dang, did they use a real bottle? Because that was crazy sounding. So that's a couple of my notes, but I got more thoughts. But Ian, hit me, man. What about you?
All right, yeah, definitely a lot of pros and cons. No, definitely a lot of pros. Definitely massive cons of this movie. Thank you, Alex, for this recommendation. I think, for fun, I do like Tubi movies. And one day I do. If I were to direct or write something, that's probably the platform it will be on, just because, I'm going to cut myself short. I don't think I can make it to Disney or HBO or anything like that. But, I think I do have a chance.
People can watch everything for free.
Yes, exactly.
So people can see it.
Absolutely. So this movie, I'm going to start with my pros, and I'm going to go to my cons. My pro is, I think there's a level of good acting in this movie. Good writing, that's a different subject, but there's sometimes, for example, that scene where the wife was giving birth, she looked like she was giving birth. I was like, yo, her mannerisms are perfect, her emotions are perfect. It looked like she was really struggling. She really channeled in an inner pregnant woman. Not a big fan of the music in that scene, by the way. I know they were trying to be funny and stuff, but it just didn't work for me. I'll just keep going with the pros. I'll go back to the cons later. But yeah, I think a lot of the emotion from the main character was, it looked like it was legit a man hurting and suffering and going through some pain from losing a loved one. And I can definitely understand. I liked the acting of the core three main characters. I think it was decent for sure. And that's it. That's all I liked about the movie. I hated it. I hated this fucking movie. Oh, Alex, how dare you? How dare you give me this recommendation? I'm just kidding. I'm here for any recommendation. I do love a good, bad movie. This was a terrible movie, but man, it's so bad it made me laugh. Oh, let's start going on with my cons. Okay, so the Asian dude. Oh my God! Ask me how many times I laughed at this guy. Go ahead. Ask me how many times. How many times did this guy make me laugh? Zero. What the hell? Who wrote this guy's dialogue? The worst dialogue I've ever heard in a movie. It's just so corny. Oh man, I don't want to ruin my rip by going to this baby shower. Shut the fuck up and go to the baby shower, bitch. It's not that big of a deal. No one's gonna call you gay or anything for going to a baby shower. I don't understand. I don't get it. The whole time he was just loads and loads of corn, and I was just like, why do you hang with this man? Why do you hang? And then the main villain of the guy, the guy with the little man syndrome that's in the NFL, that's fucking all this guy's friends or girlfriends.
Well, raping them specifically.
That was another part, I'm going to get to later. Apparently, for some reason, he's been fucking with him his whole life. And like every girl he gets it, and he beats them up in high school and stuff like that for some reason. And it's the first time you see this man, he goes into the bathroom and looks at his junk and says, "Oh, what's up, runt?" What? Not only does he do it once, I think he does it 3 times. I think he just keeps going, looking down, looking at his penis. And another part I hated, I really felt bad, like, a positive thing. I really felt bad, for this man going through, like, PTSD and sadness for losing his wife. This girl fucks him. He can't give it up for a little bit. Understandable. He's still going through that loss from his wife. The whole office clowns him for it. This man's wife died. This is the first person he went on a date with. First off, why is this bitch telling everybody that? Fuck you for that, bitch, is what I would say. Second of all, why are you telling the boss? Why are you telling the chancellor lady? Why are you telling everybody in the office needs to know that he got a limp dick after 2 minutes? Why? Why is this everybody's business?
I gotta interrupt you for just a quick second.
Go ahead.
Ian, why does it sound so personal right now?
Hey, I have no personal problem getting it up. I just know if a man looks at my penis 3 times, we gotta fight. I don't understand.
Oh yeah,
we're going to fight. Yes. If the guy, he just put his head down and was like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And he's just like, goes to the table, "Can I dance with your girl?" "Yeah, go for it. Just like you do, like you've done since high school. Take my girl." Quit being a punk, man. Ridiculous. Like, but no, he pissed me off. She pissed me off. Like, really, this man's wife died. You are the first person he decided to go on. He didn't even want to go on a date with her. You were thirsting over this man. You would not leave him alone. You basically, dragged him in there against his will on this date. And then when he goes on the date with you, and you guys get it on, okay, you didn't have a good time. Why are you shaming? Imagine if a guy did that to a girl, fired immediately. Maybe even some charges dropped. Whatever. Yeah. It's so fucking weird. Then he finally moves on to one of the baddest chicks I've seen in a tubi movie, for real. Yeah. Good for him, by the way. Good for him. Like, and that was a great match. Why did I see it coming that she dated this guy again? Okay. What is these guys are like eternally linked, like it's the fucking like Force like in the dark side or something? Like, what the hell is going on? But why did I see that coming a mile away? Like, let me guess, her ex-boyfriend is the little guy that keeps looking at diets. Well, it's and one thing I think it was a decent misdirection. Remember when, and this is going way back. Remember when the guy, the woman called and said, "Hey, I was there when your wife died. She was a hero," stuff like that. She kept saying her name. She's like, "My name is Amy Johnstone." She said it like 3 times. Amy Johnstone. I was like, okay, obviously Amy Johnstone is going to be, maybe his love interest or something. She's going to come back in the story. You never see Amy Johnstone again. But she was making it clear. What is your name again? Amy Johnstone. Don't forget it. Amy Johnstone. Okay? Never saw her again. Maybe, she went and fucked that guy again. I don't know. And back to Jeremy's point, too, toward the end, where it was a fucking weird ending, where he's just going back to apologize. Because as you should apologize after you call an old woman your ex-girlfriend. I get it. You were wrong for that, brother. Go apologize. Knocks on the door. Of course, his arch nemesis is there. And, he's like, hey, she's busy. And like a bitch, she's willing to walk away. He's like, okay, I guess, this is my life, I guess. Every girl I like, you're going to take. Then he gets some balls, opens the door. Clearly, she's being raped. Struggle, fight. It's a struggle for those two to take this little-ass man. And I know he's muscular, but you guys, he's way bigger than him. I don't understand. After that, kicks him out. I don't even think he locks the door, by the way. Kicks him out the house. They have a laugh. The movie's over. Call the police. That's 10 years in prison what just happened. He broke into a house. He raped a woman. He assaulted you. 15 years. And he's a black man. Give him 20 years. Fuck it. I don't understand. That ending was so weird. Thank you, Alex, for my entertainment for that movie.
I haven't even given my review on this movie yet, so this is.
Yes.
You know what?
I think I just said all I needed to say, but I would like to hear your responses to all of that.
I would like to point out, because I know some of the actors and the director of this movie.
And they did a great job.
The opinions that are being said right now are not representative of Alex or Momentum Media. Even though
they're gonna hate me. You'll never get a Tubi movie on this platform, sir.
Now, granted, this is not my YouTube channel. I just want to point this out there. I do not condone the opinions that are being said right now. With that being said, I kind of have to agree with that ending scene, because even I was like, "What the hell?" Like, first of all, like, and maybe what I think was going on was, you know how you've had a bully in your life when you were younger, and then you grow up and you see that bully as an adult, and you still think that mentally that bully is beating you down. I think that's the type of scenario they were playing to, because I'm like, the main actor is so much bigger than this dude. Like, what are you scared about? Like, and so what? He was in the NFL. What?
Psychological warfare.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, who cares? You know. So I thought that this should have been an easy win. So to see him struggle in the way that he struggled, I'm like, I think he was dealing more so mentally. At least that's what the director was trying to convey. However, you're absolutely right. I would have just called the police, or to end the fight completely, just bring a gun. Solves your problem right there.
Yeah.
But
well, they got the bottle, so that worked.
But I would have to say, as a film as a whole, I personally did enjoy the film. I did like some of the jokes. I will agree that the Asian character, unfortunately, did not make me laugh. But I do think that he probably overacted in some of his scenes just a little bit.
You know what he was? He was the annoying minority character in every white movie. He was the black sidekick that's like, say what? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Exactly. Over the top, real talk. Yeah. Hey, where do I put my balls? Shut the fuck up, man, and get out of here.
I will say, the actress who played Brenda, Miss Kendra Mack, she did a good job in her role. Very good job in her role. I will say the only thing that was confusing about Kendra's character, there's a scene where she comes to work and she has bruises on her face. In the whole movie, they didn't mention that she had a boyfriend. I know that she was out, she was living her life out there or whatever. But
Leon roughed her up, bro.
Yeah, it was Leon.
That's right.
It was his arch enemies.
Yeah, Leon was assaulting every woman in this man's life.
You know what pissed me off? Like, I understand why old girl was mad at him because of the sex situation, and you're like, you know what? Yeah. If you want to be with me, you got to get past it. You know, and it's hard. That's life. You know, it's a loved one. It's the mother of your child. It's hard to get. You know what pissed me off? So you go back to the abusive motherfucker because he said your ex's name. I don't understand.
Yeah, what? That made me mad. But let's be Ian, let's be real. In real life situations, that happens more than you think.
You are correct. I will give that a pass, not because I disagree with it. You know, it makes me question logic on that, but you are correct. Like, out of all the ridiculousness in this movie, that might be one of the, like the bottle, one of the one that is actually correct.
And I think, Alex, you bring up a good point about the bully Leon too. It's there's a difference though between intentions of depicting something and actually like sowing the seeds and paying it off in a way. If we would have had a moment between her and Leon leading up to it to see like why maybe she would end up back with him, but she did to be fair, she was like, I'm over this, and she got up to walk away from the dinner and was like, I'm done with you, and then he followed her back over to the house under the pretenses of the jacket. But I think a lot of this is just, is symptomatic of trying to tell 7 years of story and hit all of these major life events without spending a lot of time to let any of it breathe. It's just like beat and beat and beat and beat, and it's tough, man, because I didn't think it was good, but at the same time, you keep on giving us movies that your fucking people made, and how am I supposed to just like crap on it if
You're right. You're right. Go ahead. I was gonna say too. I agree with him. Like, look, after I did that long thing, I fuck this guy, this stupid ass right in it, and you're like, oh, those are my friends. Shit.
Cut it all out.
These guys, some of my actor friends and stuff like that, they're in this industry to be, well, they're not in it to be criticized, but they understand that comes with it. So you don't have to
They're artists, Alex. They're sensitive, just like we are. Come on, man.
I mean, we're all sensitive, but we're not. Like, for instance, we should run from criticism. I will definitely say this: don't edit or censor yourself because solely for the fact that I know these individuals. No, I want to hear your honest opinion.
I know you're doing that right now. You're doing that.
That's the whole. That's the whole point of Movie Club. But no, because I even told Choice, because I interviewed him about this movie. I said there were a few things that I'm like cohesively didn't make sense for me. And if I'm being honest, from a directing standpoint, I do feel like you could have done a little bit better in certain aspects. But overall, if I'm reevaluating it in a movie standpoint, it is a decent movie with a lot of plot holes. And like Jeremy said, you're trying to squeeze in 7 years worth of story within almost a 2-hour movie. And unfortunately, with it being low budget and with it being what you have to tell this story, there's only so many times you can cut corners. But I would tell y'all, do not censor your criticism, because I'm not. But if I'm being honest,
no, I was joking.
I wouldn't. What I'm saying now isn't anything that I wouldn't say in front of them. Like, I would say, hey, listen, I like the movie.
Good.
These are the problems that I've had with the movie. But overall, I do think that the movie was pretty decent. I will say this real quick about his new love story. She gave up. Well, I will say this. They did not hype up I'll put it to you like this. When he calls the new girl his wife's name, I didn't really feel the build up to it, if I'm being honest.
And then he was a dick about it.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you called him your old wife's name. Like, bro, if anything, you need to be very apologetic.
Be fair, yeah.
You know, very apologetic.
Very apologetic. That's why I said, understandable, you got to fix that. That's why I was like, understandable, you got to go fix that, brother. Like, that's no good.
And
but I also do. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, talk.
Okay, I was like, with someone who's been through that, yes, you have to be very apologetic.
No, I think I can see in particular why it would connect with you. I can also be intellectually honest and say it's probably still a better movie than I could make. They put it together, man. They did that. They accomplished something. It felt a little bit, maybe I'm out of line saying this because I don't really know his catalog. It had Tyler Perry vibes to it, in that it was a family relationship drama that kind of skirted a couple of different tones, had an attractive cast, and was like, it was trying to say something meaningful. I think I am somebody that skews way more towards the side of like stylistic stuff. And stylistically, I think there was a kind of like a flatness to this. It didn't really have anything to say in a subtext way. It was like, hey, here's a really earnest story about a person. And in order for these stories to really work, you have to connect emotionally with the characters and their relationships. And I don't think this movie did the work to make you connect with many of them outside of kind of superficially. There would be like one scene of setup and then they go on a date. Something bad happens. On to the next thing. One scene of setup, then they go on a date. Then something bad happens. And it was just like, it felt really rinse and repeat of scene of dialogue, scene of out at a restaurant, or scene of at a club, or scene at a birthday party, back to a scene of conversation. So like, it just didn't do any favors to like spark that lived-in relationship experience between the characters. I think I'm saying it well. Like, it didn't feel like he particularly had all that endearing of a relationship with his first wife, and maybe that's also the director's intent. Maybe he was saying something there, and maybe he needed to appreciate that more, and that was part of what he was mourning as a loss. And it felt like I don't know, very surface level. I have to recuse myself from rating it because it's one of these situations where, like, if it were a movie that hit the movie theater, it would be one thing. If it's a movie that was on Tubi that, like, again, working with limited budgets, it kind of reminds me of Bora that we watched, where it's like, I understand that, like, this isn't...
I love Bora, by the way.
I did not. But I think I liked Bora a little bit more because it was a little bit sleazier and, like, weirder, and I appreciate that, you know?
Right. And I would say really quickly, I understand the criticisms behind it, because even when I watched it with my wife, she said, like, honestly, Alex, like, I love the fact that your friends are into the arts and into directing and acting and stuff like that, and everything's great. However, just from a narrative standpoint, there's just a lot of things that she didn't really understand, and there are a lot of things that it just didn't flow with her. She liked Bora a lot better because I guess of the subject matter they were trying to tell. But it's funny that you said, like, Tyler Perry, because my wife even said this film seems like one of those low budget Tubi romantic stories.
Yeah.
And when you said that, that's what immediately made me connect to that. But yeah, I would agree that, yes, I honestly believe if you tighten up the script and kind of fill in those plot holes, maybe it'd be a little bit more compelling. But also, I would also say there's just... Oh, go ahead, Ian.
I was going to say, I don't even think there's a lot of plot holes. I just think it was just like, you know, stuff just happening, just like, okay, like, you know, just the guy with little man syndrome, you know, taking his girl in every chance he can get. I don't think that's a plot hole. I just think it's just random as hell. Like, what? Right. You know, why is this guy a random villain in this man's life when he's, you know, getting over his ex-wife, trying to move on, and for some reason, every girl in high school he's gotten, every girl, you know, after the situation he's gotten, you know, he goes on 2 dates after his wife dies, and somehow they have connections to this guy. It's just, you know, it's just weird. It's just weird. But like I said, I wouldn't criticize this movie for having plot holes, because I don't think it has plot holes. I just think it just needs, like, tinkering with the writing a little bit.
Definitely. And then, and the last thing I would say real quickly is, like, how comfortable do you have to be to go to the bathroom just to look at another man's penis? I have no...
Never.
I like as many times.
I think they were trying to be funny, but no. Go ahead, man. Tell us about your bathroom experience.
No. As many times I've gone to the bathroom, that has never been my desire to look at another man's penis.
If I don't get 2 glances in, then I feel like I haven't actually achieved my task, my duty. You know what I mean? I go back for a second look every time. Dude, if he would have, like, slapped him on the ass and made him get piss on his shirt or something, and then he got mad and left, that would have been something. Like, it would have been funnier. It would have been like, oh, this guy's a real asshole. But, like, after he looked down as he was walking away, he just, like, pops him, and the dude kind of jostles and gets piss on his shirt, and he's all mad, and he's like, no. And it would build. It would escalate the situation. Anyways, that's my rewrite.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to give a rating. Jeremy says he can't give a rating. I feel like Alex is a little biased on this one. So I will give a rude rating, and I'm going to give this movie a 2. Just because I would have gave it 1, but, you know, it's just, there was some times I was just like, I can understand I like the emotion this man's giving to his loss. I think, honestly, and this is another thing I'll say that's positive, I think they really were trying. I don't think the actors weren't trying. Yeah. I think they were working what they got. I'm not going to say that they didn't do a good job with the lines and the dialogue. I think that they nailed it. It's just like, what could you do with the stuff that you got? You gotta, you know, that's my thing. So yeah. But I'm gonna give it a 2, and I never want to see it again. What about you?
I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
You
'Cause
motherfucking lying, man. What?
I'm going to give it. I'm definitely going to give it a 6 out of 10. And I would like to point out they shot this movie. They shot this movie during COVID. So.
Oh yeah, good excuse, Alex. Good excuse.
Okay, Alex gives it a 6. I give it 2. Jerry, do you want to try to? You know, what do you?
Yeah. On a scale of 10, I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay, understandable. Okay. Now, don't think that we don't want to see Tubi movies. I actually love Tubi movies. It's guilty pleasure. So, like, bring on the Tubi movies.
And like, line up all of your connections from Hollywood, Alex, and we will just kill shot.
But you know, it's funny because I know I'm not recommending another movie next, but my next recommendation is actually not a Tubi movie. So,
all right. It was fun. I always enjoy this. I don't care. Like, I watched it. I took notes. I had a good time, man.
Me too. It took me 3 days, though, because there was just times I was like, I can't finish this movie. I'm going to go to sleep now. But I finished it. You know, that was my task. And yes, I, did have a dream of having a movie on Tubi, but probably it's not going to happen anymore after I just shat on, like, 100 people for some reason. So apologies if you're watching this review. Nothing personal. It's just, the writing. Okay, so I think I'm next, right? Is it me or is it you, Jeremy? I think
it's you.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's
okay,
you.
It's me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am going to pick next week. We are going to watch the movie. I don't have a movie for us yet, but we'll announce it later. Because I did actually want to go back to the movie Moonlight, Oscar-winning movie, but I think I want to do more of an unnamed movie as well.
That's a good movie.
It is a good movie, but you know what? No, I am going to pick a movie now. Mr. What is that movie with Jared Leto?
The Disaster
Dallas
Artist?
Buyers Club? Mr. Nobody?
No. Mr. Nobody. We're going to do Mr. Nobody next week. Now, be prepared. Mr. Nobody is a long movie. So, like, make sure you have, like, nothing going on. But to me, it's one of the few masterpieces. And I've only seen it once. It's one of those movies where I liked it a lot, but I've only seen it once. And I want to go back to it. So, Mr. Nobody's next, everybody. Yeah.
Bet.
All right, guys. If you've seen this movie, A New Life, please give us a review and let us know what you thought. Remember, Alex knows these people, so be careful what you say. But give us your honest opinion. Don't be scared, like you said, to say what you want to say. Like, it is, your opinion. And I would much like to hear what you guys think about this movie. And you give us a recommendation for your favorite Tubi movie. What's a guilty pleasure Tubi movie you would like us to watch? Please put it in the comments. And much love, peace, and chicken grease. Oh man, Alex, you are a funny dude.
That was so fun.